Россия священная наша держава, Россия любимая наша страна, могучая воля, великая слава, Твое достояние на все времена.
All right, thanks for joining me today on the MRE Experience. And today we are looking at a Russian officer ration, the RPS-U. Now, this claims to be a Russian military ration, but in actuality, it is a civilian packed ration for the consumer collector market. This is marketed as a Russian officer daily ration. It's packed with over 6,000 calories of traditional Russian components. It is a 24-hour ration, and it is large. This thing weighs 2.5 kilograms. It is a civilian packaged ration. Here's a menu listing on the back. And the manufacture date or best by date is November 27th, 2006. This thing is pretty neat. I have not seen anyone review these, so I thought it would be interesting just to document this. So let's get through this. Now, you can already see that it is very flashy, almost too flashy for military use, especially with the branding officer. We got a lot of tactical imagery, a lot of explosions, real dramatic for marketing use, a lot of weaponry. There is a seal on here from the company that manufactured this. A real Russian IRPs are usually much more plain. This is clearly designed to sell to the general, this is clearly designed just to sell to the civilian population. This is not a government contractor, and just for clarity, this is not issued in the field for Russian military operations. This is massive considering the calorie content for 24 hours. This is almost double of what you see for U.S. military setup for a day. And you can use this in the field for extreme weather, cold climate, if you're a backpacker or hiker. So let's get into this. I've been holding on to this for a while, and I'm really curious, and this is going to be tough to get through because this is a lot of calories for one day. So before we open this, I'm just going to read the menu listing, which I've translated on the back. So the first item is stewed beef, 336 gram container. We have buckwheat porridge with beef, which is a 340 gram container. Rice porridge with beef, 340 gram container. Pearl barley with porridge and beef, another 340 gram container. Minced sausage, meat, 100 gram. Processed cheese, 80 gram. Zucchini caviar, 100 gram. Army biscuits made with wheat flour, grade 1, 200 gram, but there's 4 of those containers. Officer's chocolate, 30 gram, 1 container. Chocolate nut paste, 50 grams. Natural honey, 20 grams. We have a tonic drink concentrate, 30 grams. We have I'm sorry, not four. It's a 4-gram black tea, 2 of them. Granulated coffee, 2 grams, 1 of them. We have 3 60-gram sugar packets. We have 1 5-gram salt packet, 1 gram packet of ground pepper, 3 water disinfectant tablets. We have 1 portable heater, 6 water and wind resistant matches, 3 disinfectant wipes, and 3 plastic spoons. So that is quite the loadout. This is definitely going to be interesting. So let's get into this guy and see exactly what we got here. All right, so we have a seal here. And let's see what we have here. Wow. This is quite the haul, and I already see some stains here, so that's going to be pretty interesting. Here's our 3 spoons. We have our Esprit stove. That looks like a drink mix. Oh, shoot, look at this. Oh, there's our chocolate spread. Open. That's a shame. I'm going to leave that upside down. I guess we found out what our oily mess was from. Here's our honey. That actually looks really good. We have a container that has a dent in it. It looked like that's what split. We have another container here. These are probably going to be our caviar and our zucchini caviar and processed cheese. Our officer chocolate. We have our 4 packets of crackers, biscuits. We have a tin, which I can't read it, so then we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 containers. One of them is dented pretty good. Pretty cool labeling. They all seem to be held up pretty well. It's kind of odd. 2 of them have pull tabs and 2 of them don't. So I don't know how in the field, unless you're issued the proper utensils to actually cut this open, how you're going to open that. We have, looks like a generic napkin. Then looks like we have our teas. Looks like we got our, I'm not sure if this is 20 grams. What are these 20 grams? We got our black teas. Another drink mix, I think. We got something else here. I don't know what these are. Looking on the printed list, and these are sugar probably. The sugar, wow, that is a lot of sugar. We got our coffee mix. We have our salt. We have our water purification tablets. Our 6 matches. And our tube of pepper. All right, that is quite the haul. And that is a lot of food. Okay, let's, I'm going to break this down into 3 separate meals. and then we're gonna get into it little by little and push through this whole entire menu and see how we come out here. Stand by. Okay, we're back. Since all of these items were canned, we have to prepare them. So what we're going to have laid out for breakfast is going to be the vegetable caviar. We're going to have the minced sausage pate. We're going to have a pack of crackers. And this is the, let's see, what is this? This is pearl barley with beef. Now, very greasy. Let me tell you right off the bat, these Russian mains, they do not mess around. They like their grains, they like their beef, and they love their fat. So this warmed up nicely on the stove. Until I browned the beef and kind of caramelized the pearl barley. The crackers, I took a little nibble of one of the broken ones. I don't see rye in it, but there is a very distinctive rye flavor. And like always, there is a hint of staleness. I don't know what it is with these Russian rations, but I don't think they ever produce fresh crackers. There is a very nice, if you want to call it, flour flavor, because they do say they are manufactured with premium grade flour. So, all right, like I said, we got our pearl barley and beef, browned it on the stove. I threw up a shot of that. We have our zucchini caviar, right, or vegetable caviar. We have our minced sausage pate. We have a pack of our crackers. We have a massive pack of sugar, which I'm not going to use all of it. I'm just going to add a little. I got some water going here. So we're just going to put a little sugar in there. All right. And then we're going to have one of our premium coffees. That water is very hot. Looks like it is a freeze-dried, I'm sorry, spray-dried, very fine granules. And let's mix that up with the sugar. This is a moist towelette we'll use to clean up afterwards. I don't understand why you need so much sugar, but I guess if you just have water and you throw some sugar in there, you got some sugar water, which will help you get a little boost of energy and hydrate. I'm already noticing that in this ration, and like I said before, this is not a military ration. This is a civilian repack. It is lacking in drinks. There's only one isotonic drink in this, one tea, one coffee. So I don't know how they expect you to chow down on all this food, especially when you have 3 little tiny drinks. The coffee is good, a little acidic. It is very bold, decent quality. Probably could put a little more sugar in there. I'm getting a nice aftertaste of coffee, so kudos on the coffee. Let's see what this vegetable caviar is all about. I didn't try it yet. Okay, it's like a puree. Give that a try. Not bad. Tastes like pureed baby food. It's sweet. I do get a nice hint of vegetables, so that's pretty nice. That goes really nice with the vegetable, with the crackers, the rye crackers. That does have a nice blending of flavors. The rye, flour, pureed vegetables. The runniness of it is a little off-putting, but it isn't bad. I would like to have seen this in maybe a little thicker form, a paste. But, all right, let's see what we have here. All right, this looks pretty good. It's pretty firm. Let's give that a try. Just one whole chunk. All right, this is like a luncheon meat. It's pretty, you know what? Let's just get it all out here. No sense keeping it in the can. All right. There you see, it's a, looks like it's like a meatloaf. Let's try one on a piece of cracker. That's pretty good, but there's really not much flavor in this. Usually when you see gelatin, you know that's where the flavor's at, and everything's kind of muted. It's not really salty. There's nothing really popping out and saying it's a quality meat. I mean, it's decent. It's protein. There's fat. I'm sure there's a lot of salt in that, but I don't know. It's kind of lacking something. It's not bad, but when I see a tin of meat, I kind of get excited because usually European, Russian, they don't skimp out on these pâtés, these tinned meat. They're usually something special, and this isn't really something special. It's just a can of meat. There's no really sharp meat taste to it. It's very delicate, very light, almost like a ham. But the crackers almost tend to overpower it because of their very distinctive rye flavor. And I mind you, I want to tell you that these crackers are not very hard. They're very pleasant to chew. They're not like the SU ones, where the Panzer waffles, where they're ridiculously hard. They're actually really nice. It would have been great if they were salted, because then that would bring out the flavors in the other food, but they're not. So let's try one on our crackers. Pearl barley with beef. That's really good with the crackers. The flavor of the rye crackers with the fats and the pearl barley and the beef, they really complement each other. This is nice. If you didn't have a mess kit to actually warm this up properly, because in the can, on the Espit stove, that's not going to work. That can was deep. It was thick. I mean, sure, you'll get the fat on the bottom burned. Some of this would have cooked, but the top, this has to be emptied out into a mess kit and actually browned, because that's where you start getting the flavors. Let's get another bite on these. This is actually really good. I like this. Now, mind you, this isn't the whole portion. This is 2/3 of the portion. I left the other portion in the pan because it is way too much for me food to eat in one sitting. Lightly browned it for about 5-7 minutes. Hit it with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. That is actually quite nice. Very greasy. I mean, you could see in the plate here, this thing is slick. So I hope when you eat this, you're in a cold environment or you're inserting yourself, because you're going to need all that fat. The texture of the beef is a high quality. It goes actually quite well with the pearl barley. All right, this is going to be quite a long video because I'm going to be eating this all day. So I'm going to finish up right here. All right, finish up with some coffee. Okay, final thoughts on breakfast. Not a fan of this. Something about just the texture. It's just like puree vegetables. Probably got loaded with vitamins, so probably good for you. But with the crackers, they don't really blend well together. The sausage pate, it's okay. It's not stellar. It's really muted in its flavor. Kind of goes okay with the rye crackers. The pearl barley with beef and these rye crackers, perfect. Good solid breakfast. Extremely filling. The coffee was good. No complaints. Let's see what our moist towelette looks like. It's a small one. It's got a nice fragrance to it, so it is probably treated. Yep. I don't think there's alcohol in it because I don't feel it cooling, and it is quite small. They could have made it slightly larger, considering how big that packaging was. Kind of deceiving. All right, so that's breakfast. Stand by. We'll be back in a couple hours. I'll nibble on this a little more. This is going to end up being a pretty long video, so I don't want to draw it out. We'll be back with lunch. Stand by. All right, we're back for lunch. It's approximately 3.5 hours later. I am working up a little bit of an appetite, and this is what our lunch is going to be. I'm going to try to make it a larger meal so dinner isn't so overwhelming. We've got beef stew. We've got the rice porridge with beef. We have a pack of crackers. We have the cheese spread. We're going to try to see what this looks like since it is damaged. This is the hazelnut chocolate spread. We got our hand wipe. We have our salt and pepper. And we have our black tea with our open pack of sugar from breakfast. That's what it's going to look like. I'm going to start warming these up in a pan, plate everything up, and I'll be right back. Stand by. All right, we're back for lunch. For lunch, we're going to have our damaged hazelnut spread. We're going to try to see if the stuff on top is still edible. The cheese spread, the beef rice porridge, the stewed beef, and I incorporated some of the busted up crackers into it because there is an unusual large amount of grease. I still skimmed off about 3/4 of a cup because it would have been like literally beef in a fat soup. Now I get it, in the field, winter, you're exerting yourself, fat is energy, but I don't need to eat that much, and I'm not going to. That's about it. We got our tea with the rest of the sugar from that pack. We got our hand wipe. Let's dig into this and see what we got. Let's try some of this hazelnut spread. I mean, it still seems pretty good even though it was damaged. Let's give it a try and see how it actually tastes. Very good. Very smooth. Very soft. It's almost like a chocolate hazelnut frosting. Boy, I must have grabbed like absolutely worst pack of these crackers because these are really beat up. But this chocolate hazelnut spread is really, really good. Make another one up here before we get too close to the bottom where that break is. Yeah, I don't see any issue with this. And this is a pretty fresh ration, so I'm not really worried about this chocolate hazelnut spread being bad. All right. And we don't have any napkins. Ha. All right. Stand by. All right, let's see what this cheese spread looks like. Wow, really soft. Let's give it a little taste here. That's weird. No taste. Very, very soft. It's almost like a Gouda cheese in its creaminess, but like a Gouda or a Munster on how soft it is and creamy, but there's no pronounced cheese flavor. That's weird. Let's give that a try right now. Yeah, it's a very soft cheese. Oily. Yeah, that's weird. It's not very sharp. It doesn't have a pronounced cheese flavor to it. That's kind of weird. But it is cheese, so we'll eat it. Now let's check out this beef stew. This beef stew looked really good. You know, if you take away how much oil was in it. This you could probably heat up very easily in the can because once all that once all that fat solidifies, it would almost just be boiling in fat. So this would be easily heated up in the field, in the can, on the Esprit stove. But as for this needed to be in some type of pan and just constantly rolling it over, bring it up to temperature. Let's give it a taste. Very good meat. You can tell it's hardly processed. Very fibrous and tender, but very greasy. Very greasy. And no flavor with like salt or pepper. You can tell it's just beef and fat. The beef flavor is very strong, very pronounced. Very overwhelming beef flavor. That's actually pretty nice. That would warm you up in the field when you're cold, tired, and hungry. That would definitely give you some massive energy. and putting the crackers in it for some texture and to soak up some of that fat, that's the way to go with this. Now, on the servings, this is the entire can of beef stew. This is 3/4 of the can. I wasn't going to be able to finish both of these huge mains for lunch, so I wasn't going to even try. I warmed them up, put them in the, plated them up, and then left the leftovers on 2 small bowls. This is what I was curious about, this rice porridge with beef. And that's exactly what it is. I taste some pepper, some salt. The rice is nice and flavorful. It's very mushy. It is a porridge. And you could see there's shreds of beef inside this porridge. That's nice also. Have some cheese spread with our crackers. Yeah, that cheese, if these are supposed to be all premium components, I'm not impressed. This cheese spread is really lacking flavor. Very soft, very oily. I mean, you could see how slick it is. Right now, the beef stew is a hit. The beef porridge is great. These are absolutely fantastic. The chocolate hazelnut, kind of off with the rye crackers. They should have included maybe sweet crackers or cereal crackers instead of just redundantly putting rye flavored crackers in everything, but they'll do. That is absolutely bonkers. How smooth and such a rich hazelnut chocolate flavor from this. This is amazing right here. Totally drowns out the rye flavor on these crackers. Totally. All you get is like a chocolate flavor explosion with hazelnut, and it's so smooth and creamy. I'm so happy I didn't toss this because of that little puncture right there. So happy. That is outstanding. All right, let's try our Russian black tea. And these spoons are pretty good. Pretty sturdy. I'm not sure if they're biodegradable, but these are really good. I'm impressed with the spoons. Usually in rations, you get some really trashy spoon just thrown in. It's like an afterthought, but these are solid, and they give you 3 of them. All right, let's give this tea a try. That tea is no joke. That's a good tea. Right amount of sugar. Sweet, floral. Has a good taste to it. It's not bitter by any means. That's a good tea. All right, let's dig into this a little more. That's good, but that is extremely heavy. Wow. And this is very filling. I got sidetracked for a moment and this ended up getting cold. Let's finish this up. This actually tastes a little better after it's cooled down and the fat has solidified a bit. All right, that beef stew is really good. That is a hearty beef stew, but very fatty. But I have to say, it is very wholesome and very comforting. Let's take care of this chocolate hazelnut spread. Okay, well, I'm not too fond of this. This just has a weird texture and taste. It's not very cheesy. That was awesome. That was really good. And this was fantastic, the beef stew. It's very hearty, very fatty. Goes really good with the crackers. And the tea was fantastic. Okay, I'm going to finish this up throughout the night. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to the next meal because these are very filling. Huge amounts of calories, protein, and fat. So I'm going to save the next meal for the next day. We'll lay it out. I'll show you what we're going to have, and then we'll dive into it after I warm it up. Stand by for the next meal.